So the question we're going to answer today, and I'm going to show you how easy this is to take this information, a normal text file that you receive in an email message, flip it into a spreadsheet within seconds, make it into a data source that then can be illustrated through a Power BI report that you don't have to update. You can do whatever you want to the report, invest your time into making it look nice, and then simply update this information whenever it becomes available. And I promise you, this is really easy and a great way to visualize data within your organization. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right to it. So what do we need to do here? So let's paint out the scenario here. The scenario is that I receive data here as mock data. And let's go over here to this guide. And if you want this guide, just send me an email message. My email address is right there, jefflush@msn.com, and ask for this number right here, 154.111. It's free. So just ask me and I'm happy to provide it for you. But here we're going to go through the step-by-step of exactly what we need to do. I'm going to show you on the guide, and then we're going to flip over and actually show you in real world. So here we're going to open up OneDrive. We're going to create a folder. We're going to call it Power BI Report Data, and then we're going to download this data to a local drive, okay? And then we're going to dump that data right into, from that local, we're going to save it as a local drive. Then we're going to import it in through Excel as a CSV file, a text file, okay? Then we're going to save that, and we got that mock data. You see here, it turns it into a table itself, and then we're going to go ahead and drop that data directly back into our local drive, and then we're just going to drag and drop it right onto that folder. Whew. So that was a lot in that first section, so let's go ahead and do that. So here we want to download this data real easy. Just hit download, and when you hit download, it's going to end up right here. And then we want to go ahead and open up Excel. Now I'm just going to go ahead and open up this data that we've already imported, but I want to show you how simple it is here. We're going to go ahead and hit enter. Of course, this is mock data that looks very similar to the data you might find within a university, but any data source works, by the way. And here what we want to do is we want to go right up here to data, and then we want to hit the text tool right here, text. And then we're going to just point to that text file itself. So where we put it in downloads, mock data, we're going to hit import. And when we hit import, it's going to go through and it's going to say, okay, what do you want to do? And we want to say load. Then we hit load, and bada bing, it's going to go in there. So pretty simple. We see that it's tab delimited. We can choose other delimitors. So let's say that you're pulling in a text file that maybe have commas or colons, or maybe you just have a whole bunch of data that you're going to put this stuff in. So you can use any of these as your delimitors, and then it will line it right up as you see here with these bogus names, okay, and the information. Okay, we're going to cancel out of that because we've already created that spreadsheet. Once it imports, it's going to automatically import as a table, and that's exactly what we need. We don't have to do anything with this except save the file. We're going to hit cancel there. I'm sorry, we're going to hit don't save, but we're just going to save the file back here to the local drive, okay? And let's go ahead and move that off the screen a little bit and go over to OneDrive. Now in OneDrive, we've created this folder called My Files, and it's right there, Power BI Report Data. We can open it. In my instruction set, I just have you take this file right here, grab a hold of it, drag it down to wherever you want, right? Whoops, got a little folder, little mouse problem there. Where is it? Right there, Power BI. So we're just going to drag this bad boy, and then we can let it loose right there, and it'll copy in, or we can get it right there. We can drag that bad boy in, hit copy. Either way it works, it copies. That's it. That's all we have to do from that. So let's go back to our instruction set and see where we're at. So we created the file, we imported, we saw that, we moved it down. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and use Power BI to connect to that data. So now we have that as a data source. Remember, this we're going to call the data source because it's where all of our data is. Let's go to Power BI. Now I'm going to go out to Power BI here. and just where you would be starting. And I'm going to go right down here, although it's off of your screen. Let me see here. Whoops, sorry about that. So let's see if I can grab a hold of that. Whoopsie daisy. All right. Let's go and pull that there. Whoops. We didn't want that either, but there's a nice instruction set for you. Okay. We're going to go right here. Get data. Okay. Don't go here, which is create. You want to go down to the bottom here. Get data. And here, when we look here, notice there it's number 2. We're going to hit get here on files. We're going to go to the files OneDrive. We're going to say, hey, that's a folder. Remember we just created. That's the Excel file we just created. And we're going to import that as our data source. And then we're going to stop there. We're going to create the report. So I know I'm running through this quickly. Of course, pause the video at any time to capture these step-by-step instructions, or just email me and I'll send them to you. It's not that tough. Okay, right here, get data. So just click on that bad boy. And we're going to say right here, files, get. So just click on files, and then we're going to do OneDrive Business. That's where we have the files. We're going to click there. And then it's going to open up that, and we're going to look right here for the Power BI data report right there. We're going to click on this, and we'll just go ahead and create. Well, we're not going to create one. We're going to hit connect. And this is the important thing right here. We're going to import this so that the data is automatically refreshed. So if we hit import, boom, it's right there. You can just hit got it. Now here, just close this out. Okay, right here. Okay, and then your data sets are right here. See how I clicked on data sets? It's right there, mock data. Now I just put this one in. So I'm going to delete this because I already have this data set. So I don't want to mess my test environment up. So here we have mock data. It's right there. We're good to go, right? So you've loaded the data. Congratulations. So let's go back over to the instructions. Pretty easy, isn't it? It really is very easy. So we're just going to hit there and let it rip. Okay. Now we see the mock data right there. We're going to hit the ellipsis here. We're going to go up and create a report. And then I'm going to show you how to put in all kinds of things. So we're going to put in some numbers. And this is all from our spreadsheet. This is the mock data spreadsheet. We're going to create a pie chart. Okay. We're going to create, what else do we create? Oh, we're going to create a search box with visuals. Okay. I'm going to show you how to load new visuals as well. And then we're going to create some filters on our data and a drop down. And that will be it. And we'll save the report and exit. And then I'm going to show you the appendix on how to update the data. But let's go back to where we're at. And we're going to go ahead and go here. Going to go there. And we'd hit create a report. Now I've already created the report, so I'm going to go to that report. Okay, but normally I would just hit create report. Now I'm just going to click on that because I know the report's right there. Notice it says report there, by the way. Do you notice here it says data set? Those are, it's very important that you realize that because it will make a difference on how you work with Power BI. It can get confusing because it's called mock data here and it's called mock data here. But this is a report. Notice it has a different icon as well. Notice these are database icons with kind of a reddish color, orangish color. This is a blue color with like a graph. Okay, and here we're going to open up this report. Here is the report that we've created. It'll take a minute to load up. And because we've already created, I'm going to hit edit. But I want to walk you through how to create all of these components based on your data. So take a look here at the data itself. This is the data from the spreadsheet. Okay, so you can see that it was updated. If I drill into there, I can see exactly what time, but I'm going to show you that in just a minute. And here, do you see the mock data here? So we can use this and do whatever we want to create any one of these graphs. So let's say this one, for example, the total number enrolled. Okay, so if I click on that, you can see where it is right here, card. You see that right there, number 1, 2, 3. And then if you look down here, I just selected last name, okay, and I dumped it over to here. Now, do you see how it says number enrolled? And then right above that, it says last name. That's because last name is the actual field right here, but I renamed this field so that it would say number enrolled. Now, I don't have to have that label underneath, by the way. I could go to my visual here and say, where is it? It's one of these. I think it's, no, it's not title. I thought it was data label. That just tells me what it is. But you can play with it. It's one of these. Okay? So maybe it's category. Yeah, it is. There it is right there. So category, if I turn it off, notice it just says 5. And then I put it there, enrolled. But I didn't want it to say last name. I wanted to say number enrolled. So I just did a click here on this down right here. And I went here, rename this visual, and I named it to number enrolled. Remember, when you hit that, it highlights everything. Just type in whatever you want enrolled in class is. Okay? And then hit the enter key. And then it'll just do it for you. Okay? And then this, notice it says count. When you do it, it's gonna put in the name of the person. In fact, when we did the screenshot here, I think it did the same thing. So I could show you this. Let's see here, pie chart right there. So here, we're right here. Here's ITSY, and we selected this one, right? Then 2, we dragged last name down. 3, we went down and did count. I'm sorry, 3, we did rename. That should be highlighted. 4, we did count. Okay, and then that's it. So that's how you do that. So it's pretty simple. Just do the right click. Then we want to do count. So we want to put to count. Okay, and then it's going to tell us exactly how many records are in there. Now there is another feature in there, count distinct. Okay, it's going to be the same, but if I had multiple people, because I'm searching right here on last name, let's say I had multiple Snuffies in there, it would only give me the first Snuffy that it found if I say count distinct. So I always usually do count. Okay, that's how you do a number. That's pretty easy. Let's do a pie chart together. Pie chart selected right there. Again, in the report, oh, there's rename right there. Okay, in the report itself, let's see here. Organization name, here's the pie chart. So I select pie chart. I put in organization. I just drag it from over here over to here. Okay. And then I say count of the last name. Now, when I drag this down here, number 2, it's just going to automatically number it for me and give me these percentages. I can play with that as well. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what I'm talking about. Right here, count of last. Notice there again, it says last name, organization. If I click down on there, I can do different things. I can show values as different things as well. And I can add multiple values. And I don't know if I could do it to this one, so let's see. Yes, I can. So I can add a second value as well, just to make things confusing. But I can take it away too. Watch. There we go. So there's lots of things in flexibility to recolor. You go here. It's very simple. So let's go ahead and look at the next one here in our thing, which is create search boxes. So a search box, we're going to use this right here, text filter, but you're not going to see it as a default. Notice it's down here. Click here, say get more visuals. And when you say get more visuals, I always search, I just remember by filter, boom, I got it right there. And I click on it and then I hit add. And then it automatically adds right there. Okay? Then I can create the filter, and that's exactly what I have right there, filter. Okay? So if I click on that, notice here, again, drag that over, easy peasy. Okay? Now, this is a drop-down menu. Now, if we go back over here, so we've got that, get more visuals, add the text editor, good, drag, everything looks good. Let's create the drop-down. Drop-down's right there, the slicer. All right? We're going to drag this guy over, okay, and then we're going to select drop-down. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So slicer, we're going to drag the organization over, good. Now let's go over to the slicer itself on this down. Let's make this a little bigger so you can see it a little easier. So down here, notice there's drop down or list. I could do list, okay, or I could do drop down. When I do drop down, then when I click on it, I can click on it here and I can do a couple if I want. And then the graph on that page all changes according to what I'm doing within the environment. So that's pretty cool, including the number. So if I wanted to see here how many people are in that course, none. Okay, but what about CCAF? 1. What about them and the Air Force? First Sergeant, right? There's 1 in each. Okay, this one's only, notice 2 enrolled in class, and we're going to do filter next. Okay, so pretty easy. Get rid of it. I hit delete. Okay, last thing we're going to show you here on this report is how to use a filter. So the filter here, I've got number enrolled, right, which is the main number. Exactly what I did here. Number enrolled. Notice there's no filter here. Here I have a filter. What I did, I just drag this over, boop, put it right there. And then notice here, I can just select which filter I want. If I wanted this one, I could do that one. If I wanted that one, I could do multiple ones. I could select them all. And then again, I rename this field right here, and I gave it a count. So that's how you do all of the dashboard stuff. And get creative. This obviously is something I wouldn't use, but I use these cards a lot. I put a lot of color. A lot of times I'll change the background color. For example, because that's black, I'll just do it light blue. Then maybe I'll go and change the data label and all of that stuff. So lots of good stuff. Remember the data label, right, is, you'll see it change here in a minute, is that guy. And then the category, you'll see it change too, is the bottom piece, okay? And then we can change that background color. Say I want a little darker color, boom. Okay, pretty easy peasy. That's all we have on the report. Let's go through before we end this video and update this information. So to save, we're going to hit save. Now, if I haven't already saved, it would prompt me to save the report. And I have that right here. Save the report, report saved. And I always make it a favorite. You don't have to make it a favorite, but I do. Okay. Now let's go to update that information. So how do I, now this report's great. It's wonderful. Let's go back there. We're good to go. Now I want to update this information. Notice here I have a new file here. It's 20K. This one seems to be 20K. Everything seems to be 20K. So that's not true. But let's just go ahead and take a look at this data here. It says here it's 19.2K. That's 20.8K. So there's a little difference between the two files. But nonetheless, we want to update this data. What we're going to do, I always do it inside of the directory first. So I go ahead and just delete this file. That's the old file, right? And then I go and name this one the name of the old file. Has to be the exact name, by the way. Cannot be just any name. Has to be the exact name that you see right there. And the way you know you're doing it right is if you copy this over and it does not prompt you right here that you're going to replace the file. That means that you've named the file wrong. So go back. But we're just going to hit replace. And now that data has been updated. So will that data now show in my mock report? No, it's still at 5. And even if we hit refresh here on the browser, will it do it? It won't. Because what's happening here is that the data itself has not been updated. So let's go ahead and go back out here and we're going to find the mock data. So remember the data set. I'm just going to click on that. Now, when we click on that, we can see the time, right, that the last update occurred. And now we're going to update that time. So we're going to hit refresh. We're going to hit refresh now. Now you're going to notice that that time is going to change here in just a minute to 3:46. Now, if it doesn't, you can always hit refresh of your browser and now it will update. Okay. So now we're at 3:46 p.m. So the report should represent the new change, right? What we're representing is that you've made an update to the data and you want all of those pretty graphs that you've made inside of Power BI to work with the new data. So let's go ahead and take a look at that. So here, if I click on the report, bada bing, it works. Now, it doesn't always work like this, by the way. Sometimes you have to hit refresh on your report. So don't worry about that. But here we have all of the data that we need. We can drill into it. We can do all types of things. The data works perfect. So that's how you update that data. So if you look here, those instructions are here. I tell you how to do that, rename, and then do everything that you need to do. So ask for the instructions if you'd like them. Otherwise, this is kind of just a standard report that you can use using Excel as your data source.